Today I want to talk to you about sharing God's peace and the sacraments in the time of the coronavirus. As part of our worship, we share God's peace with one another. You may be used to doing that with a handshake, or maybe with a hug, or maybe even with a little kiss on the cheek. But with the spread of this virus, we're erring on the side of caution in our churches. And unfortunately, sometimes a little extra caution causes a little extra anxiety. And when we get anxious, we resort to all or nothing ways of thinking. People either say, I'm going to keep doing what I've always done, or they say, well, I'm not going to come to church at all. But we need each other, now more than ever, and facts are the best thing we can use to help counter that sort of thinking. The first fact to remember is that this virus isn't airborne. It needs our help to get into our nose and then down into our lungs. Our lungs are the only place in our body where it can grow and reproduce, and it's the droplets coughed out of our lungs that spreads it. That's why hands are the easiest way for those droplets to get from one person to another, and that's why washing hands with soap or using hand sanitizer if washing isn't an option. Doing that every time you go in and out of a door like this, and doing it for as long as it takes to sing the doxology. That's the best way to keep it from spreading. As the teacher says in Ecclesiastes, there's a time to embrace, and there's a time to refrain from embracing. This is a time to refrain from embracing, but that doesn't mean we have no way to share God's peace, or celebrate the sacraments, or support one another. There are lots of options in between all or nothing to do all of these things. We simply need to be creative. This foot shake looks fun, but it does require good balance. There's the traditional greeting that comes out of the Buddhist tradition, or this traditional Chinese greeting, or you can try sharing little Korean finger hearts with each other. There are also a host of sign language options. You can sign peace like this, love like this. You can say I love you like this, or for that special someone, I really love you like this. When it comes to sharing the Eucharist, we've been asked to bless just a small amount of wine and leave it on the altar in a chalice, and then return it to the ground after the service. Christ is fully present in each element, so we will continue to have the full benefit of the sacrament. We'll also drain the baptismal font, and we'll ask that you pass your offering to the usher rather than passing the plates. And then after worship, we'll wipe down the altar rail and the backs of the pews. This may feel overly cautious to some and not cautious enough to others, but this is the path we are taking now so that we can best love our neighbor in these times. If you feel sick, you should stay home and just stream the Christ Trinity worship at 10 o'clock on their Facebook page, and we'll pass you the peace through the camera so that you can stay as connected as possible. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in church.